The T squad is Kirsty. You know what time it is. We dropping the tea, sipping that tea. Hey, receipts on the beat, we got the inside steep. Spill it, sip it, serve it, come get it with me. It's dropping the tea, dropping the tea.
So tell me why I'm minding my business, scrolling through headlines, and I see radioactive shrimp recall sweeps America. Excuse me, radioactive shrimp? Like, not expired shrimp, not contaminated with salmonella radioactive. At this point, I'm convinced 2025 is just running on chaos. This isn't clickbait, T-Squad. This is real, and it's wild. So grab your mug, because we're diving deep into the nuclear shrimp scandal, the story that's making everyone question what's really in their freezer. Hey T-Squad, it's Kirsty back again on Dropping the Tea, where we break down the stories the mainstream media either downplays, distorts, or doesn't understand. And today's story is one part food safety nightmare, one part international mystery, and a dash of full-on, what in the Fallout 4 is going on? Let's get into it. So here's how this all started. The FDA quietly issued a warning, basically, hey, if you bought shrimp lately, maybe don't eat it. At first, it was Walmart's Great Value brand shrimp sold across 13 states. Customers were told to check their freezer for certain lot numbers and toss or return them immediately. But within days, it blew up. More brands got dragged in Arctic shores, Best Yet, First Street, Great American, even Kroger and Publix products. By the end of the week, the recall had spread to more than 30 states and hundreds of thousands of pounds of shrimp. People were freaking out, radioactive shrimp was trending across TikTok, and no one knew what that even meant. This wasn't a bad batch or a factory mix-up. It was something much deeper and far more alarming. Turns out, this wasn't just contaminated seafood. The shrimp tested positive for cesium-137, a man-made radioactive isotope. That's not something that comes from dirty water or spoiled food. That's the kind of stuff you find in nuclear disasters like Chernobyl or Fukushima. Now, the good news? The radiation level was relatively low, about 68 becquerels per kilogram. The FDA's emergency threshold is 1,200, so technically this wasn't an imminent danger. But health experts were quick to point out that this material shouldn't be there at all. Even if the dose was small, the type of contamination meant something in the global food supply chain had gone very, very wrong. Now, before anyone panics, no, eating one shrimp cocktail isn't going to turn you into a Marvel mutant. Experts say a single meal at these levels won't harm you. But the real issue? Chronic exposure. If this kind of contamination slipped into the food chain once, what's to stop it from happening again? Cesium-137 doesn't just vanish, it builds up in the environment. Long-term, it's linked to increased cancer risks. So yeah, maybe you're fine today, but the bigger question is, how did radioactive shrimp even make it to the shelves in the first place? The investigation led straight to Indonesia to a company called PT Bahari Makmur Sejati, BMS Foods. Every recalled batch passed through their processing facility. Customs agents at U.S. ports in Los Angeles, Houston, and Miami picked up radioactive readings using advanced scanners. They stopped those shipments, but here's the kicker, some had already slipped through. That triggered a full-blown recall. The FDA even slapped BMS Foods with an import alert 99-51, basically blacklisting them from the U.S., until they can prove their operations are safe. But once investigators started digging, they realized this wasn't just a shrimp problem. It was environmental. Indonesia doesn't even have nuclear power plants. So where the hell did cesium-137 come from? Authorities started testing the surrounding area and found traces of the isotope at 22 different factories. Then another curveball hit. A shipment of cloves from a completely separate company in another part of Java also tested positive. So this wasn't one bad facility, this was a regional contamination. The working theory? A scrap metal factory nearby melted down contaminated metal, releasing radioactive particles into the air and water. That fallout spread across the area onto farms, processing plants, and eventually into exported products. It's an environmental nightmare hiding in plain sight. By October, the FDA had ramped up import checks, requiring new radiation certifications for entire regions of Indonesia. A drastic move, but clearly necessary. So, what's the bigger picture here? This whole scandal proves just how fragile our global food system really is. Something that happens in one factory halfway around the world can end up on your dinner plate without anyone realizing it until it's too late. And the scariest part? The only reason we even found out was because a radiation scanner just happened to catch it. It wasn't a routine test, it wasn't oversight, it was luck. That's terrifying, so let's be real. The real scandal isn't that a few shrimp were a little radioactive. The scandal is that this could have gone completely unnoticed. Our food system runs on trust, and this just exposed how easily that trust can break. If something this bizarre can slip through, what else are we missing? Let me know what you think, T-Squad. Would you still eat shrimp after this story, or are you officially switching to chicken for life? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you found this eye-opening, and of course like and subscribe for more deep dives and truth spills. Because when it comes to stories like this, trust me, the tea is never just lukewarm.